Most women carry a hidden weight long after youth fades, quiet tremor beneath poised smiles and hard-won accomplishments. It whispers in boardrooms and empty nests alike. Are you still enough? This pervasive unease isn't merely about aging. It's a labyrinth of ancestral echoes and unexamined shadows tightening around the modern feminine soul. Senior anxiety isn't weakness. It's the psyche's alarm bell ringing against invisible chains forged in forgotten battles and inherited fears. These chains bind not the body, but the wild, untamed essence yearning to express itself beyond society's shrinking boxes and the ego's desperate pleas for relevance. They manifest as a haunting sense of displacement, a feeling of being slowly erased from the narrative of desire, influence, and belonging. Yet this erosion isn't inevitable, it's the symptom of unconscious contracts signed with ghosts. The critical mother internalized, the absent father mourned, the cultural script demanding perpetual bloom in a season of wise harvest. The first chain coils from the shadow of outdated archetypes, the internalized voices demanding you remain. The maiden, the nurturer, the seductress, long after your soul has outgrown their confines. Society projects its fear of decay onto the experienced woman, demanding she cling to youth's fading reflection.
Oh.
But your unconscious absorbs this poison. You might find yourself overcompensating, chasing trends that feel alien, silencing your hard-earned wisdom to appear agreeable, or dimming your authority to avoid the dreaded label, intimidating. This is the Persephone complex frozen in the underworld, refusing her crown as queen. Jung warned of the peril when the persona, the mask we show the world, hardens into armor. Severing connection to the authentic self, that frantic energy, that's your life force warring against the cage of an identity that no longer fits. Can you feel it? The exhaustion of performing a role your bones reject. Every time you shrink your presence to soothe another's discomfort, you hammer another. Link into this chain. The archetype isn't your enemy. Your unconscious servitude to it is. The maiden's playfulness, the mother's compassion, these are facets, not the entire jewel. Your totality demands integration, not amputation. Breaking this chain begins, not with rebellion, but with ruthless shadow work. Stop running from the crone. The wise woman, the sovereign, your depth naturally evokes. She isn't barren. She's the deep root system feeding the forest. Invite her from the shadows, sit with the discomfort her emergence causes. Whose voice truly whispers, you're too much when you speak your truth. Is it yours or the internalized? Critic of a culture terrified of feminine power that doesn't cater to the male gaze? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What hues dominate yours, vibrant self-possession or the gray ash of apology? Start observing when you automatically diminish yourself, that meeting where you couched. Your brilliant insight is just a thought. That moment you lied about your age, these are chain links tightening. Awareness is the chisel. Next, consciously project the archetype that resonates with your current essence. Not performance embodiment. Speak with the quiet authority of the queen who knows her realm. Make decisions from the healer's intuitive wisdom, not the pleaser's. Anxious calculations. This isn't about aggression. It's about gravitational presence. Your years have earned you the right to occupy space without justification. When the old panic rises, but will they still want me? Shift the question. Ask instead, do I still want them? Do their limitations honor the woman I've become? This is Stoic detachment meeting Jungian individuation, assessing worth from an inner citadel, not a marketplace of approval. The chain snaps when you stop begging for permission to exist in your fullness. Sovereignty isn't granted. It's claimed in the silent moments where you choose yourself, again and again, over the echo of expired expectations. Your essence isn't fading, it's crystallizing. Stop mistaking the gathering storm within for decline, its power consolidating, waiting for your conscious command to break the surface. The second chain emerges not from external demands, but from a deeper, more insidious internal exile, the chain of projected longing. This is where the unclaimed fragments of your soul crystallize into resentment, envy, or misplaced admiration. For others, you see in them the passions you abandoned, the boldness you censored. The creative fires you dampen down for practicality's sake. That sharp pang watching a younger colleague seize an opportunity. The dull ache witnessing a friend pursue her forgotten art. It's not their light that wounds you, it's the ghost of your own unlived potential rising from the crypt of compromise. Jung named this phenomenon projection, disowning parts of your essential self and attributing them, often with painful intensity, to someone else. Your unused courage becomes the recklessness you judge in others. Your buried sensuality morphs into envy of another's freedom. Your unexpressed intellect admires and secretly resents the scholar you never became. This projection isn't mere observation. You hand over your vital essence, then starve watching others seemingly feast on your inheritance. Feel it? That tightening in the chest when someone embodies what you secretly crave. That's the chain yanking you back into the shadowlands of regret. You become a spectator in your own life, haunted by the vibrant, daring woman whose voice you silenced years ago. She hasn't disappeared. She's been exiled, and now she pounds on the walls of your awareness through these painful projections. Every sigh of "she's so lucky," every whispered "I could never," hammers another link. The energy spent comparing, judging, or idealizing is energy siphoned from your own becoming. Seneca saw this clearly. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Your suffering isn't caused by others' lives, it's fueled by the myth of your own limitation, a story you keep rewriting with every unchosen path, elevated into an immovable mountain. Shattering this chain demands ruthless reclamation. Stop outsourcing your wholeness. That fire you admire in another, it's yours. That boldness, that creativity, that unapologetic joy, these are not rare gifts bestowed upon a chosen few. They are universal human potentials lying dormant within you, buried under layers of shoulds and can'ts and too lates. Begin with brutal self-inquiry. Who do I intensely admire or resent? What specific qualities in them trigger this reaction? Write them down raw and unfiltered. Now, the revolutionary question. When did I exile this very quality within myself? Trace the root. Was it the parent who shamed your unladylike ambition? The partner who mocked your dreams as impractical? The culture that told a woman over 40 her desires were frivolous? This isn't about blame. It's about locating the prison door. Epictetus offers the key. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction projection reveals the wound. Your power lies in choosing to heal it. Initiate the sacred act of soul retrieval. Consciously withdraw those glittering projections. Visualize gathering the scattered fragments of your disowned self, the artist, the adventurer, the lover, the visionary, back into your core. Speak to them. You belong to me. I welcome you home. Then act. Not grand life-appending gestures, but defiant micro-rebellions that honor the reclaimed fragment. Did you envy creative freedom? Spend 10 minutes today sketching, writing, dancing wildly alone? Did you resent bold expression? Voice an unpopular but deeply held opinion, gently, firmly, without apology? This is Jungian individuation in motion. Integrating the lost pieces, becoming more wholly who you are beneath the fears. The chain snaps when you realize the vibrant life you coveted wasn't out there, it was always within, waiting for your courageous yes. Stop mistaking the echo of your own unlived life for another's privilege. Your potential isn't past its expiration date. It's ripening, demanding expression in forms only your depth can conceive. The world doesn't need another faded copy, it needs the original masterpiece only you can unveil. The third chain forges itself in the silent vaults of lineage, the chain of ancestral burdens. This isn't mere genetics. It's the weight of unlived lives, unresolved traumas, and suffocated dreams passed down through generations of women like sacred poisoned heirlooms. That chronic undercurrent of dread without clear cause. The inexplicable guilt when prioritizing your own joy. The feeling of an invisible ceiling pressing down on your aspirations. These are not your failures. They are echoes. Jung understood. The collective unconscious a psychic inheritance, where the unprocessed pain of mothers, grandmothers, and foremothers resonates in your nervous system. their silenced rebellions, their swallowed truths, their adaptations to oppression live on as whispers in your bones. You inherit not just their resilience, but their resignation. Their fear becomes your anxiety. Your limitations become your subconscious boundaries. This chain binds you to a past you never chose, compelling you to replay old stories of sacrifice, scarcity, and staying small for the family's sake. It manifests as a haunting sense of obligation that drains your vitality and unpaid debt. Two ghosts. Can you feel their presence? Is that tightening in your throat when you consider a bold move? It's a visceral pull to sabotage success just as it's within reach? That's not coincidence, it's loyalty. Unconscious loyalty to ancestors who survived by hiding, by enduring, by vanishing their own desires. You carry their unlamented grief. Seneca observed, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." The terror you feel isn't always yours. It's centuries old, amplified by repetition. Your grandmother's fear of abandonment, your mother's terror of visibility, your great-aunt's crushed artistic longing, these unmetabolized emotions, become the background static of your existence. You walk paths they were barred from, yet their unseen hands pull you toward familiar prisons. Every time you dim your light to avoid outshining others, every time you equate suffering with virtue, every time you choose duty over destiny, you honor their chains, not their courage. Shattering this chain demands sacred disobedience. It begins with archaeological empathy. Dive into your lineage not with blame, but with the fierce curiosity of an excavator, whose dreams died unnamed, who carried water instead of writing symphonies, who smiled while her soul starved. Map the patterns: addiction, financial struggle, chronic illness, romantic martyrdom. See the invisible contracts. Don't rise too high. Don't desire too much. Your worth is in service. Marcus Aurelius offered clarity. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Your ancestors' thoughts were shaped by their reality. Yours need not be. Honor their survival, but refuse their suffering as your destiny. Conduct a ritual of psychic liberation. Write their names, known and unknown. Speak aloud. I see your pain. I honor your survival. But your fear is not mine to carry. Your limitations are not my laws. I release you with love. Burn the paper. Wash your hands in running water. This isn't disrespect. It's the ultimate act of love breaking. Cycles so future generations inherit wings, not weights. Next, practice conscious legacy building. Every choice becomes an act of rebellion and reparation. When ancestral guilt whispers, "Who do you think you are?" answer, "The one who finishes what you began." Channel their stifled creativity into your art, their silenced voice into your truth, their buried rage into healthy boundaries. Transform inherited anxiety into ancestral advocacy. That knot in your stomach before a breakthrough? Thank it. It's the old guard rattling its cage. Breathe deeper. Step forward anyway. Your courage doesn't erase their struggle, it redeems it. You're not betraying them. You're freeing them. As Epictetus taught. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Live as proof that their sacrifices were not in vain, not by repeating their confinement, but by claiming the freedom they couldn't imagine. Stop mistaking the tremor of generations for your own weakness. It's the seismic shift of chains breaking across time. You are not a museum for their pain. You are the temple where their stifled prayers are finally answered through your audacity to thrive. The fourth chain materializes in the relentless ticking of an unseen clock, the chain of Chronos' anxiety. This isn't mere fear of aging. It's a visceral terror of time itself colonizing your psyche. Feel it in the frantic heartbeat at midnight, the cold sweat when scrolling past milestones achieved by others, the gnawing suspicion that life's pivotal opportunities have already passed you by. Society weaponizes time against the seasoned woman, whispering insidious lies. Your relevance fades. Your beauty dims. Your dreams had an expiration date. Jung understood time not as linear, but as a spiral where past, present, and future coexist in the psyche. Yet the ego, trapped in Chronos, the Greek titan of linear time grip, perceives only scarcity. Every glance in the mirror becomes An audit. Every unwritten book, unvisited country, or unrealized passion transforms into evidence of failure. This chain binds you to a phantom future of regret and a romanticized past, while leeching the sacred potency from your now. You become a ghost haunting your own life, measuring your worth against an hourglass perpetually half empty. Can you feel its weight? That suffocating pressure when you hear she published her first novel at 25? The sharp sting when culture glorifies young innovators. The quiet erosion of hope when scrolling idealized lives. This is Kronos' poison, the internalized belief that your vitality, creativity, and capacity for reinvention diminish with each passing season. Marcus Aurelius offered a radical antidote. Time is a river, a violent stream of events. No sooner does a thing appear than it is swept away. Your suffering stems not from time's passage, but from your identification with its illusion of loss. You mourn versions of yourself you believe are gone forever, forgetting the alchemical truth. Wisdom is forged in the fires of lived experience. The maiden's potential wasn't lost. It was composted into the queen's discernment. Every laugh line etched as a map of joy survived, not a scar of decline. Yet the chain tightens with each panicked "I'm running out of time," each dream deferred because it's too late. You sacrifice your present moment on the altar of a terrifying future that may never arrive. Epictetus saw the trap. We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it. Your anxiety isn't about time, it's about squandered presence, shattering the Chronos. The chain demands a pilgrimage into Kairos time, the ancient Greek concept of the opportune moment, the sacred, now pregnant with potential. This is Jung's synchronicity made tangible. Begin with temporal sovereignty. Reject society's artificial deadlines. Menopause isn't an expiration date. It's a biological rite of passage into profound creative and spiritual fertility. That passion project? It's not too late. It's perfectly timed for the depth only you now possess. Write a defiant manifesto. My value is not indexed to youth. My dreams answer to my soul, not a calendar. My time is mine. Next, practice radical presence. When panic about the future arises, will I die unfulfilled? Anchor yourself fiercely. In the physical now, feel your feet on the ground. Inhale the scent of rain or coffee. Trace the texture of your own hand. Seneca's wisdom pierces through. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This isn't denial. It's reclaiming your power where you actually exist. In this breath, this heartbeat, engage in deep time reckoning. Contemplate the vastness of cosmic time, stars born and dying, mountains rising and eroding. Your life is a single brilliant spark in this infinite expanse. Does a spark fret over its duration? Or does it burn with its unique, irreplaceable intensity? Your legacy isn't measured in years accumulated, but in moments fully lived and the love you unleashed. Finally, reclaim cyclical wisdom. Nature doesn't mourn the fallen leaf. It trusts the cycle. Winter isn't death, it's gestation. Your later seasons are not decline. They are distillation. What needs shedding? What needs nurturing in the quiet dark? That novel. Start today. That journey. Plan the first step. That boundary. Set it now. The power isn't in the time you think you've lost. It's in the sovereignty you claim right now. Every time you choose presence over panic, creation over calculation, you shatter a link. Your life isn't a race against a clock. It's a sacred dance with eternity unfolding through you. Stop mistaking the turning of seasons for an ending. Autumn trees blaze with colors spring could never imagine. Your most vibrant chapters aren't behind you. They're written in the ink of your current, unapologetic becoming. Time isn't running out. It's running through you, a river of possibility only you can navigate. The fifth chain lies coiled at the very root of identity, the chain of conditional worth. This is the most insidious shackle. Forged not by society or ancestors, but by the wounded ego itself. It whispers the core lie. Your value must be earned. Your belonging must be bargained for. Your right to exist depends on what you provide, achieve, or sacrifice. You learned early to trade fragments of your soul for scraps of approval. Love became conditional upon silence, success upon exhaustion, safety upon smallness. Jung called this the construction of the false self, a meticulously crafted persona designed to appease, perform, and avoid the terrifying vulnerability of simply being. Every time you twist yourself into knots to be deemed lovable, every time you mute your truth to maintain harmony, every time you equate exhaustion with worthiness, you tighten this chain around your essence. It manifests as a chronic inner poverty, gnawing sense that you are perpetually almost enough. If only you worked harder, loved better, aged slower. This chain turns relationships into transactions, creativity into currency, and your very existence into an apology. Feel its cold grip, that familiar dread when receiving genuine praise, the impulse to deflect or diminish, the exhaustion of performing strength while your spirit starves, the suffocating pressure to be endlessly productive lest you become irrelevant. Is the false self's tyranny, mistaking doing for being? Seneca saw the trap. We are mad, not only individually, but nationally. We check manslaughter and isolated murders. But what of war and the much-vaunted crime of slaughtering whole peoples? Your personal madness is the wholesale slaughter of your inherent worth on the altar of external validation. You wage war against your own soul, believing its raw, unedited truth is unacceptable. The chain tightens with each suppressed desire labeled selfish, each boundary unset for fear of abandonment. Each moment you abandon your inner child's needs to appease the imagined expectations of others. Epictetus offered the antidote. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, but the false self would rather suffocate than risk disapproval. Shattering this foundational chain demands is nothing less than psychic revolution. It begins with ruthless authenticity. Ask the terrifying question, who would I be if no one was watching, judging, or needing me? Not who you should be, who your untouched soul is. This is the essence of Jungian individuation, becoming the unvarnished, unrepeatable totality of your being. Start excavating the false self's contracts. When do you smile while bleeding inside? When do you agree while screaming no? When do you shrink your radiance to avoid outshining insecure partners or peers? Write these moments down. See the pattern. I am worthy only when. Fill in the blank. Pleasing, achieving, caretaking, hiding. Marcus Aurelius whispered across centuries. Waste no more time arguing about what a good woman should be. B. 1. Stop arguing with the ghosts of expectation. B. Begin the sacred disobedience of existing. Practice saying no to demands that drain your essence. Express a need without justifying it. Admit vulnerability without shame. Hear what delights you. This isn't selfishness, it's sovereignty. Your worth isn't damaged by others' discomfort, it's revealed. Embrace radical self-possession. Build an inner sanctuary where external validation holds no power. Visualize a fortress within a stoic inner citadel, guarded by self-respect. When the old panic rises, will they leave? Will I be alone? Breathe into this citadel. Ask, does this person role demand honor the truth of who I am? If the answer chills your spirit, release it. This isn't callousness. It's the ultimate act of self-love. Pour the energy once spent performing into becoming. Nurture your passions, not for applause, but because they make your soul vibrate. Choose relationships that celebrate your depth, not demand your diminishment. The chain snaps when you realize your existence is the condition. You were born worthy. You're inherently enough. Every sunrise finds you deserving not because of what you do, but because you are. Stop bargaining for birthrights. The world doesn't grant worth. It reflects the worth you know within yourself. Your later years aren't a decline. They are the glorious unmasking, the shedding of costumes, the return home to the unshakable, unearnable truth of your being. Anxiety dissolves when you stop seeking permission to exist. Stand naked in your authenticity. Let them stare. Then whisper, your radiance needs no justification. You are not a question begging for an answer. You are the answer. The woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, she chooses.